I'll tell you a story. There were two individuals who came up with something interesting and influential. Though it is not printer beside me, that I think somehow is a life-changing equipment. It's not also a bottle of vitamins or a new lotion, but it is the stages of skill acquisition. Yes, you are right. Well, the name of these two individuals that I am pertaining to are Paul Fitz and Michael Posner. They have created a very influential theory which radically helped us to understand skill acquisition. It has influenced many fields ranging from sports psychology to education. Stages of skill acquisition states that we go through 3 stages as we acquire a skill, namely cognitive, associative, and the very topmost, autonomous stage. Let's delve deeper on these stages. Let's have number 1. As you can see here, it's named as the cognitive stage. Well, from the term itself, we can conclude that this cognitive stage is dominated by cognition, and that is by the bookish, declarative, explicit knowledge. For example, I am thinking right now of teaching as a skill, and that is fitting because you are pre-service teachers and that's the skill that you're trying to learn. You weren't able to teach before, and now you're trying to learn how to teach. And so, you tried to learn tips, instructions, and advices from a book on education. And your education teachers also has taught you of several techniques and strategies and reminders on how to teach students. Now that you have a bunch or a list of verbal instructions that you want to dutifully perform, well, in fact, you may want to memorize them. You gradually try to rehearse that in your mind, and you perhaps try to recall the tips of your teachers, saying that, oh, you should stand up straight while teaching, and you use gestures not to face the blackboard or whiteboard. Try to roam around just to check if everybody's on task, and have this smiling and pleasant personality. Well, as you see, that is cognitively demanding, and your focus is narrowly concentrated on those tips and instructions given to you. In reality, you can't do other things when you are in this cognitive stage because all of your attention is focused on performing the task, and you want to check on your list if you were able to do that certain instruction committed to your memory. Well, I'll sit now. The second one is known as the associative stage. This is a stage where it involves tweaking a skill, associating with different responses. In this stage, you get to test the waters and you try to understand what works and what's not. Also, you try to, of course, retain the good ones and get rid of the bad ones, most especially the things that lead to errors. Going back to our example of you as a neophyte teacher, well, you get to, for example, have some days teaching and you get to observe, oh, it's not good that I just leave my students do a certain task without giving instructions and time limit. Well, that's a learning point for you. So you get to tweak the things that you do in teaching, and the next time around, you have a new way of doing it. And of course, you get to reinforce as well some good things that you do. Like, you get to see that students love talking and conversing with their fellow classmates, and you retain that in your next class sessions. Well, you get feedback coming from your observation, and you may want to supplement that with the feedback that you can seek coming from other people. And the last one is the autonomous stage. It is the stage in which you are capable of executing a skill without having to think much about it. It's like implicitly ingrained to you already. Well, going back to our example on teaching, you won't rely anymore on the verbal instructions given to you by your teachers or from the things that you read. In fact, it has become like a second nature to you already. For example, you know, based on your experience, how to handle class effectively. You know how to manage some small misdemeanors in the class. And you know, most especially, how to present yourself powerfully as a teacher. In this stage, your skill no longer depends on verbal instructions, and hence it's not cognitively demanding anymore. Well, in fact, you may even get to forget some verbal instructions given to you because you have become accustomed to it. Yes, that's true. Once the skill has become automated, you may forget some of the verbal instructions that you once relied on too. Yes, that's true. Once the skill gets automated, you may actually forget some of the verbal instructions that once you get to depend on.